A story so shocking, it shook the entire nation. A 9-year-old boy, starved, tortured, and trapped inside his own home. And the woman at the center of it all? She became one of the few women executed in Texas history. What really happened behind those closed doors? And why did it take the ultimate punishment to deliver justice? Stay with me as we uncover every detail of this heartbreaking and horrifying case. If you love true crime stories that reveal the darkest sides of humanity, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you won't want to miss what's coming next. A 9-year-old boy, weighing just 35 pounds, trapped in an apartment that had become his prison. His ribs poking through fragile skin, his spirit broken long before his body gave out. And his only crime? Existing. This isn't just another crime story. This is the horrifying reality behind the name Lisa Ann Coleman, a case that sent shockwaves through Texas and beyond. How does a child in the heart of a bustling city starve to death without anyone noticing? How does a mother and the woman she calls her partner turn a home into a chamber of suffering? Today we peel back the layers of cruelty, deception, and neglect that led to one of the state's most haunting murder cases. Who was Lisa Ann Coleman? What twisted path led her to become the face of such unimaginable evil? And why? Did no one save Davontae Williams in time? This is not just a crime, it's a warning. A cry for the innocent, silence behind closed doors. And as we step into this story, brace yourself, because the truth will break your heart. Before the headlines, before the courtroom, there was Davontae, a bright, curious 9-year-old boy from Arlington, Texas. Born in 1995, he loved cartoons, sugary snacks, and moments of simple joy. Teachers remember his gentle nature, a shy little boy whose smile could light up even the hardest days. But behind that smile, there was a storm brewing. You see, Davontae's short life was marked by struggle. His home was far from safe. The warning signs were there. School reports of neglect, whispers of concern. But somehow the system failed him. And when he needed love the most, the walls around him became a cage. Those walls belonged to his mother, Marcella Williams. Marcella had her own history of pain, raised in instability, bouncing from one hardship to the next. She longed for control, for someone to hold on to. And when she met Lisa Ann Coleman, she thought she had found just that. Lisa, born in 1975, a troubled past shadowing her steps, had already faced her own demons: poverty, foster care, and a life marked by anger and survival. Together, Marcella and Lisa formed a bond that would spiral into something dark, something deadly. And caught in the middle was Davontae, a little boy who just wanted to belong, who wanted to be loved. But instead of love, what awaited him was a nightmare, one that would slowly drain the life from his tiny body. And no one came to stop it in time. In early 2004, Davontae moved into an apartment with his mother, Marcella Williams, and her girlfriend, Lisa Ann Coleman. To anyone looking from the outside, they seemed like just another family trying to make life work. But behind that door, horror ruled. Almost immediately, Davontae's world grew smaller. Isolated in a cramped bedroom, he spent days locked away. No school, no friends, no laughter. This wasn't just neglect, it was control. Food became a weapon. Every missed bite, every perceived misstep was punished with hunger. They called it discipline. In truth, it was slow torture. Neighbors rarely saw the boy. Some thought the family had moved. Others assumed he was simply shy. No one imagined that behind those walls a child was wasting away, body and spirit crushed by those who were supposed to protect him. By the summer of 2004, the damage was undeniable. Davontae's weight had plummeted to just 35 pounds, less than half of what a healthy 9-year-old should weigh. His small frame was frail, his bones visible beneath stretched skin. He was dehydrated, malnourished, covered in bruises that told a story words never could. Then came the day that ended it all. July 26, 2004. A frantic 911 call. Paramedics rushing through the door. But it was too late. Davontae Williams, 9 years old, gentle, shy, full of potential, was gone. Official cause of death: malnutrition with complications from pneumonia. In plain terms, he was starved to death. And when authorities peeled back the layers of this tragedy, The truth they uncovered would haunt Texas forever. Detectives knew immediately. This was no accident. The boy's frail body told the story. Severe starvation, visible bones, bruises scattered across his skin. This didn't happen overnight. It was the result of weeks, months of suffering. As investigators dug in, neighbors were questioned. Their responses painted a chilling picture. Most admitted they rarely saw Davontae. Some didn't even know a child lived in that apartment. Behind closed doors, he had simply disappeared from the world. The medical examiner's report confirmed the horror: prolonged malnutrition, dehydration, pneumonia, and clear signs of physical abuse. This wasn't neglect. It was systematic, deliberate cruelty. Police wasted no time. Marcella Williams, the boy's mother, and her partner Lisa Ann Coleman were taken into custody. But the question lingered like a shadow. Why? Why would two adults, one his own mother, allow this to happen? The deeper detectives dug, the more disturbing the answers became. And what they uncovered would turn a case of neglect into one of the most shocking murder trials Texas had ever seen. As investigators pressed for answers, one name began to rise above the rest: Lisa Ann Coleman. Marcella Williams admitted her part in the tragedy, but prosecutors believed Coleman was the driving force, the enforcer who turned punishment into torture. The evidence spoke volumes. Witness testimony revealed Coleman's iron grip on the household. Neighbors recalled how she controlled everything, dictating even when and if Davontae could eat. Inside the apartment, detectives found a nightmare: filthy conditions, padlocked doors, and the unmistakable stench of neglect. Then came the autopsy, a report that would break hearts across Texas. Davontae's body bore multiple scars, signs of chronic abuse. He hadn't just starved, he had suffered over and over again. The public demanded justice. People asked the same anguished question: how could anyone let a child waste away like this? By 2006, Marcella Williams accepted a plea deal: life in prison, no parole. But for Lisa Ann Coleman, the stakes were far higher. She wasn't just going to trial. She was facing the ultimate punishment. The death penalty was now on the table. The trial was harrowing, every detail more heartbreaking than the last. Prosecutors didn't mince words. They called it torture by starvation. They argued that Davontae's death wasn't an accident. It was intentional, the result of cruel choices made day after day. The defense pushed back, insisting Davontae's death was a tragic mistake, not murder. But the evidence told a different story. Jurors saw the autopsy photos: bruises on his fragile body, scars from repeated beatings, and bones so brittle they spoke of prolonged neglect. Witness after witness described a household ruled by control and fear. Through it all, Lisa Ann Coleman sat in court, showing little emotion as the darkest chapters of Davontae's life were laid bare before the world. And then came the verdict: June 9, 2006, a date etched into Texas history. Lisa Ann Coleman was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to death. Justice, some said, had been served, but for others the question lingered: could any sentence truly make up for the suffering of one small boy? After the verdict, Lisa Ann Coleman began a new chapter, one behind the bars of Texas death row. For 8 long years, she lived under the shadow of the ultimate sentence. Appeal after appeal was filed, each one clinging to the hope of mercy. Advocates argued her punishment was too harsh, claiming she was not the sole hand in Davontae's death. But the courts, they saw it differently. Every challenge failed. The sentence stood, and then the day arrived. September 17, 2014, Huntsville Unit, Texas. Lisa Ann Coleman was led to the execution chamber. At 6:24 p.m., she was pronounced dead by lethal injection. With that, she became the 9th woman executed in the United States since 1976. But her death didn't close the book on this story. It opened a storm of debate about child protection laws, about how a boy could fall through every crack in the system, and about the fairness of the death penalty itself. One truth remained, though. A little boy named Davontae Williams had suffered in silence, and his story still echoes today as a warning and a call for change. Davontae Williams' short life ended in unthinkable pain. A little boy who loved cartoons and snacks, lost in silence. His story is a stark reminder: silence can kill. If you suspect abuse, speak up, make the call, save a life. before it's too late, because behind closed doors, tragedies like this are still happening. If you want more real true crime stories every week, subscribe to All True Crime Network and join us as we uncover the truth behind the world's most haunting cases. Hit that subscribe button and never miss a story that matters.